Welcome, everyone. Welcome to this very special global healing miracle call on what is it? What's our programming? What are the ancient secrets that can help us not only with our health, our happiness, but also with abundance? A big part of what Dr. Ram talked about was we've been programmed. We have a conscious mind, subconscious, and superconscious. What if we could reprogram some of our subconscious beliefs about money? How would that affect us physically, mentally, emotionally? How would it affect us in our health, our happiness? How would it affect our capacity to make an impact on this planet? I'm really excited about today's call. I just came out of the 30 days of being offline in which I had a lot of time to reflect. And, Dr. Naram, such a powerful healer. But he was also a healer that lived in abundance. He lived in a state of abundance. So he didn't have the anxiety of day-to-day living, so he could be free completely to live his passion. But it came based on ancient secrets. He said 95% of people don't know what they want. 3%, they know what they want, but never achieve it. 1% know what they want, they achieve it, but they can't enjoy it. Because in the process, it was toxic abundance. It created toxic success. 1% of people know what they want, they achieve it, and they enjoy it. And a big part of the ancient secrets isn't just helping people overcome chronic and acute health challenges like blood pressure, diabetes, arthritis, so many things. On last Sunday's call, Cornelia, what were all the stories that we heard?
Oh, they were so amazing.
Yeah, shingles, my mom, that was such a powerful story, and arthritis, people losing weight in healthy ways. I love Dr. Cynthia. I don't know if she's on this call, but about her mother, even when people are going towards early dementia or Alzheimer's, that she had that moments of clarity, pain-free clarity, and those 3-hour conversations, sharing stories. So beautiful. Just pain being alleviated. Actually, I remember I was at an event with Dr. Naram, with Jack Canfield. It was at his home. It came to me and I spoke in that way that just was so emotional. I've never met anyone that's alleviated more pain on this planet. And even in his leaving his body, still so much pain being alleviated. Now, he was also a master at the ancient secrets for non-toxic abundance. And that was actually one of the things he focused on teaching me. Actually, the day before he left for his trip that he didn't come back from in the body, he looked at me and he said, "No one's understood me as well as you." He says, "I'm so glad someone finally understood these principles. So when it's time, you can teach my son Krishna." Now, in my mind, I was thinking, you're going to be here to teach him. I didn't know what his soul knew. I didn't know what he was guided to. But today, I think the world needs this more than ever. Because as consumers, we just have to consume what the media gives us, what the economy gives us, what their governments give us, whatever our leaders give us. But a lot of times that's fear and it's pretty gloom, the environment. But what if we can become creators? That no matter what happens on this planet Earth, no matter what happens with the economy, no matter what happens with whatever, that we have the power, we understand the principles, the very simple principles that keep us healthy, that keep us happy, and that keep us abundant. That we can become creators of our experience.
California.
Oh, Linda, welcome. So glad
we're getting some beautiful rain outside.
Well, that's good. Rain makes things grow. That's very good. Thank you, Linda. We have a special guest with us today, Tony Litster. I want you just to say hello, and I just want to make sure your audio works, and then I'll introduce you properly.
So fun to be here. It's so fun to see those of you that I know on here. So yeah, thank you, Clint. Excited to get to know the rest of everybody. What an amazing group you bring together. Oh, you've muted yourself, Clint. I unmuted and you muted.
Oh, got it. Well, I'm just saying you got it right. We have an amazing group here, like one of the most powerful, beautiful groups of loving people. Just last week, we announced, and I opened the book. We had a spotlight from Turkey. The book is now in Turkish, Tony. And that's so cool. So fun.
It's been so fun. And I've known Clint it's been probably since 2010 or 12 or something. So like a decade. And to witness this grow, like this tree that's growing on its own, it like wants to happen. there's such magic here. It's just so fun to witness the evolution and the growth and all the different steps of this, and to have so many of us here. It's just amazing.
Yeah, I want to say this. When Dr. Naram was at one of his lowest points, and I feel so blessed. I got to see not only the kind of the miracle bigger than life, greatness of Dr. Naram, in which he alleviated so much suffering, but I also saw the very human side of him, in which he was a man and he struggled with things and he had situations come in which, troubled his heart. And in which he was so funny. He'd say, Clint, don't you understand? I'm like, he wouldn't use the word retarded, but something like, I just can't figure this part out. Like, you think I'm capable, and I am in these areas, but this, I'm so clueless. Help me. He'd say, help me. And one of those times where he really needed help navigating a situation that was really complicated. Actually, I pulled in Tony, and Tony did some consulting work in which Dr. Naram said instantly, I don't know whatever program you're selling, but I want to buy all of them. I'm your student. Please help. And then Tony helped untangle a situation that was really, really complicated in a way that brought lots of peace and clarity. And that I was so happy because I felt like whatever brought Dr. Naram clarity would help everyone on the planet Earth. Whatever could help him with whatever situations that were challenging as a man, if he had some support and some backup, someone behind him in his corner, that then he could help all the millions of people that he's here to help. And I saw that peace of mind come, and then his creativity come back and life come back into him, his presence, his joy again, and all that he was doing. And it was really beautiful. And so having you here, Tony, on this call is really special for a lot of reasons, but that's one of them. And then on a personal level, when Dr. Ram passed on, when he left his body, and I was just in such a state of confusion, I didn't know if I was going to publish this book. And there was all kinds of situations to navigate that were complicated, and that's not my strength either. How to navigate all the different dynamics. And Tony was there for me. He helped me reprogram some of my beliefs that made me understand, that the world needs this book. I know Jack Canfield also helped. He looked at me, he said, I was planning to go for a year of silence. I just told him, I just need to escape and I need to sort out what's inside of me. And he looked at me, he's like, Clint, I've read your book and I know what's in it. And I know the world doesn't need your silence right now. The world needs your voice, and the world needs this book. So that impacted me, but then there's still complications. And in the unfolding events, Tony helped me clear in my mind what I could do so that I could serve in the way that my soul was aligned to. And his support in that. And Tony, I just want to say, there's no words, for how grateful I am that you were there at that moment, at those critical moments. It's no accident that our lives are intertwined. And then having it so that way I could publish the book, not only, but I could publish it with joy and with ease, and finding out where the complications were in my thinking and my beliefs, and then putting structure around it so that way I could do it. And now so many of us benefit. So if you want to thank Tony, then it's a good time in the chat right now. You can just say, thank you, Tony, that we have this book. And not only that the book was born, but it was born in such a healthy way that it can continue on, without a lot of entanglements and complications. So Esther Francis said, thank you, Tony, for being there. Thank you.
It's interesting, Clint, if I can say, because it was such a joy for me to serve Dr. Naram and to get to be this unique resource because of things I had been through. I knew exactly what would support him. And then on the coming back around side, I'd had a brain injury and I had struggled for years in overcoming it. And Clint, you remember we were riding motorcycles in Nepal, and I had to pull over on the side of the road and lay on the table with a coat over my head because that was one of the symptoms of the brain injury. And it was finally I said to you, I was like, wait, Clint, can you actually help me with this? And you'd watched me in this. The rule was I had to ask. And you watched me as a friend. You sat with me on the roadside while I laid on the ground with a blanket or a coat over my head, trying to reset my brain. And you waited until I came forward and said, hey, can you help me with this? And you did. And I followed the protocol and I've healed. And so, 100%. And so it's just this beautiful way we get to serve each other in the moments of strength and weakness. So it's beautiful.
Yeah.
So thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, it
Really
makes me so it makes me so happy. First of all, that awesome that the brain injury is healed. Because I feel like if Tony Lister has any more capacity, energy, presence on the planet, the world's just going to be a better place. You know, so thank you, Dr. Ram, for giving us such powerful ancient secrets. It can help even with things like brain injuries from accidents. You know, and then also, Tony, I want to say that yeah, the way in which you appreciate that, you know, like with our family, many people, anyone on this call have family or friends where you know the ancient secrets can help them, but maybe that doesn't seem like they're so interested. Just raise your hand if you've ever had, yeah, I see like a bunch of hands. So what do we do? How do we love people where they are? Let them know there's a possibility, but wait for them to choose it. And what a powerful thing when people do choose it, you know? Cornelia, if you could cue up the Unstoppable track with Dr. Naram, just cue it up for a little bit. So I was just talking to someone who was so worried that their family member wasn't choosing the ancient secrets and was stressing. And, you know, but if you're in a stressful way and trying to convince someone, most of the times people are going to be like, thank you, no, thank you, you know? But what if you love people where they are, wherever they are? Trust their soul. And then in the upcoming miracle experiment experience focused on abundance, I'm going to teach one simple secret. It's not going to come on this call. It will come in there, but a secret Dr. Ram and all the masters knew for how do you help shift someone so that they have a burning desire to want what is best for them. And instead of you pushing, you pulling, they choose it. Not only they choose it, but there's a funny story, actually. I don't know if you ever heard this story, Tony. I still have us on split screen just so you're a part of this. But I don't know. Vinay, let's see if Vinay's on the call. Is Vinay on this call? Oh, Vinay. I don't know if you could come on camera. Let's see if it's possible. If not, totally okay. Oh, good. There he is.
Hello, hello, everyone.
Yeah. So there was one particular circumstance where in the clinics of Dr. Ram, there would be a line of people, and it didn't matter what country. We're in Germany is very different from Italy. Like many multinational companies, they can function one, but not both, you know, and then we're in France, and then we're in South, wherever. Always there was a line of people. So there are always a line of people, but in India, there was one particular time, the clinic's totally full, a big line of people. Sometimes people had to wait hours, you know, a long time. And there was one particular case where they came up to Vinay. Dr. Ram told me the story. Vinay, you can correct any of the details. But he's like, I can't wait for 2 hours. And he pulled out a gun and said, you find a way to get me into Dr. Ram sooner. Like even having a gun. Seeing Vinay came in, Dr. Ram, like, what do I do? And it's so funny because Dr. Ram was not worried at all. In fact, he was so delighted that someone was so passionate about wanting their health. You know, they're saying, give this to me. And Dr. Ram, when finally Vinay, he said, okay, Vinay, I'll help. So, you know, Vinay was scared. So what's this mafia person doing? Forcing me to see this healer. So then Dr. Ram let him in. It's like, okay, thank you so much. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you the herbs as a gift. He's like, what do you think? I'm a cheat? No, I must pay. You know? And Dr. like, okay, you want to pay? Anyway, so Dr. he said, we all have to pay in some way. Sometimes we have to pay in the terms of money, but sometimes we have to pay the price in terms of waiting. I don't know if you remember that story in the book about the person with the frozen shoulder, but that very wealthy man used to get in his way, had to pay a different price, which was patience. And then healing came from that. Vinay, you remember that story?
Yeah.
Of course, how could you forget? Anything you want to say about that experience?
Well, thank you very much for reminding me these things because it was a great thing that whenever to hear about passion of the Dr. Naram and his devotion and dedication towards the ancient secrets, it's always great to remember that part. And this story was really helped me a lot. What Dr. Naram always says, that just follow the things. Sometimes it happens that you have to face the situation, but instead of stuck to that problem, just find out the possibilities. The way he said that you come rush to me and then just say me something, please help me, you save me. That was a workout a possibility. So
Okay,
that that concept very clearly hit to me in my brain that yeah, in any situation you have to work out the possibility, don't stuck with the problem. And really, and that man was, afterwards he was a very great friend of mine, and still he messaged me, and every time he asked me anything is, if you need any help, just tell me, I will come with my gun. He always used the word gun. And that was a, yeah, and Dr. Nam also taught me that concept that how you can make someone your friend, your best friend for the number of years. And that really helps a lot. Just we have to give the our good ears. Dr. Naram says that we have to be good listener, and we have to just listen to their vomits, not to take it, but just listen to their vomit. And it really
Yeah.
helped me a lot.
Yeah.
Thank you
Well,
so much.
thank you, Vinay. Now, Vinay, another principle Dr. Ram used is actually he would look at Vedic calendars. And so we actually looked at the Vedic calendar through Pandaji, and we found out that the best day to start the miracle experiment experience is on 26th. 26th. So this is the one focusing on abundance. We'll have an orientation on the 25th in which will benefit anyone. Whether you're part or not, if you join next Sunday's call, you'll get another principle. Today, we're going to do a very raw, real, live example of shifting someone using one of the secrets that even from today's call, if you just listen and have your notebook out and your heart open, you'll benefit in a crazy, beautiful way. Now, for the 30-day miracle experiment experience, it's different from the ones in the past because every day we're going to do activations. Every day. So it's a little more intensive, but I want people to fully commit to it. But the pricelessness of it will be amazing. In fact, today is last day with the discounted price. After this, it goes up 3 times. If you have a burning desire, you need a scholarship, we'll give an email address that you can connect with. But Tony, we're having many people join on different days of the activation. But Tony, you want to share just a little clip of on the days that the mornings that you're joining. What is it that you're sharing on those days? And thank you, Vinay, for sharing. On the first day, Vinay is going to offer a sankalpa. What is it called?
Sankalpa.
Sankalpa. It's basically a divine request that whoever participates, that whatever benefits come will be so good for them and for humanity, and clears all the blocks. And so I'm excited for that, Vinay.
Yeah, and one more thing that what respected Panditji told me that it's our commitment, like those who are the following the ancient secrets of the Dr. Naram. So it's our commitment towards the society that now onwards we are more committed towards those who are come in contact with us, and those who are need our help. We are always available to help them, no matter what, about the time, condition, day or night.
Yeah,
we are committed.
Absolutely. In fact, with the ancient secrets, I never saw Dr. Ram ever turn anyone away because of money, ever. Not one single time.
Very true.
In what way he had so much abundance that was even possible. And also, we'll go into that a little bit more, but thank you, Vinay, for bringing that up. Also, just want to express special gratitude to everyone who supported this mission. Obviously, Dr. Smita, everything that she's done to create a company in which the herbs can be ready for us, that have benefited me, my family, those that I love. So grateful for Krishna. Amazing. The way that he's developing and growing is off the charts. Dr. Hemlan, who's leading the PATH program, and so many of the other doctors that are there, Dr. Komal, it's so beautiful. All the mentors that are supporting the one-year immersion, it's so beautiful. I'm so, so grateful and so honored to be in a group of people with such different talents. Now, why Dr. Ram specifically chose me to leave these particular secrets with, I don't know. All I know is that I just was open to learn and anxious and eager, and like a researcher taking them down at first, but that was coming so much from my head. And then he had me go for silence. He said, you think too much. You're way too much in your mind. And then in the silence, I started coming from a different aspect. Some of the secrets you can't actually be taught. They're beyond mine, but many of them, my gift is I make things simple. And so on today's call, we're going to have an experience of making one of those secrets very simple. But coming back to you, Tony, morning activations. Our biggest wealth is our health, right? without our health, what are we going to do? Our biggest health is our wealth. Morning activations, oftentimes we'll do breathing exercises or yoga together, but then we'll also help reprogram some of the subconscious beliefs. You want to talk about breath work and then also talk about the special reprogramming of some of the fears that people have around money and abundance?
Yeah. And how many minutes do you want me to take right now? I just want to be like,
yeah, you could just do proper justice, but maybe like 5 minutes, something like that.
okay, so we have a head brain, our thinker brain, where we spend more time than we need to.
Mhm.
It's really good at certain things, but it can't fix all the problems. And we have our heart brain, which is where we feel, but our heart brain is stormy. You know, our feelings change, you know, elation and joy and sorrow and anxiety and all these different things. And then we have our lizard brain, our gut brain. And there's actually brain matter down in our core. There's 100 million neurons that come up through our gut up into our brain. This is where we're going to do most of the focus in the work that I do.
Yeah.
And the process that we do. We're going to go through processes that will cause our lizard brain to feel safe in our body about money. And so the exercises that we do are going to be that we're obviously going to use language to guide ourselves into the process, but it's an ancient technology of navigating our own nervous system to cause that non-language based part of our brain to feel safe. And so that's what we'll be doing in the morning exercises that I lead. One of those is breath work. So we'll do a breath work workshop. It'll be about a 2-hour workshop that we do, where we allow, through breathing, we allow our thinker brain to take a rest and to go offline. And then our animal brain gets to unpack and release what's not serving us. And we land in a place of feeling deeply safe in our own body. And this is essential for making money, because there's these 4 big money blocks. One, if I make more money,
actually, real quick, before you share this part, I just want to hear from everyone on the call. You know, every time we you know, in chapter 7, Dr. Am talks about we're all programmed by our family, by media, by a school, by a religion, by a government, whatever. And we all have program. We have certain beliefs. I just want to see in the chat, just put one thing that you've been taught about money that became a belief. You may not know all your beliefs about money, which is fine, but I just want to see just a sample. What's one thing that you feel like you've been taught about money? And we're using this as a particular example. And I just want to see a sample of this. We can also unmute a couple people. Janet, I'm going to unmute you to start with. Yeah. Okay, Robin Lee says money is bad, not spiritual. Cynthia, to be afraid it will run out. Michelle says that you have to work hard for it. Janet Bell says that it's a problem. Savan, do you need it? Oh, let's see real quick. It's going up. Do you need it? Oh, you will use it. Can you have an alternative? Okay, good. Munera says, if we donate money, God will bless it. Beautiful. Jerem, rich people are unhappy by nature. Wow. Nancy, anyone who is rich, cheated or took advantage or gamed the system and took money they have from others who need it. Sharon, good women, quote, good women don't work, was something she was taught. Man, you guys thank you for sharing this stuff. It's really, really helpful. Luke, that I can manifest fabulous wealth if I really believe in that. Wow, beautiful. Mary Holland, money is my worth. No money, no worth. Wow. Romarishi, rich people are not truly happy. And Tara. Mary Pat, not enough. Vinod, earn your money to live. Man, you guys, this is really powerful. All right, Janet, I just want to hear real quick from you. And what's one belief that you were taught about money?
Probably that what I've been taught, okay, my upbringing is that money is what gets you to where you need to be in life.
Beautiful. That money gets you to where you need to be in life.
Yeah, which isn't necessarily true.
Okay.
But it helps.
Okay.
That's for sure.
Any other beliefs that you're aware of that you can think of which impact your relationship with money?
Maybe that I'm not deserving of it.
Maybe that I'm not deserving of it is a belief that you have. Yeah.
That's possible. Yeah. Yeah. It needs to be explored.
Okay, beautiful. Well, I'm going to come back to you, Janet, later on this call
Okay.
And we're going to unfold one belief using one of Dr. Naram's secrets, and with the support of Tony, we're going to see what happens on today's call alone. Okay. If you feel comfortable to be vulnerable, and you can opt out, no problem, but it's an option for you on this call.
I'm always in with that with Tony. Tony is amazing, and I've had such a good experiences with him in the past. So yeah, I'm in.
Okay, beautiful. Well, I just want, we'll bring you back in a moment, but thank you everyone for sharing vulnerably, like what the beliefs are. And it's interesting. Why on a call about ancient secrets, which are usually about health and healing miracles? Why are we talking about money? I know when I first heard Dr. Ram talk about money and abundance, I got resistance inside of myself. I was like, I didn't want a healer to be so savvy somehow. Like I wanted him to be like ignorant about money and it just came in flow of abundance, but I saw that wasn't the case. I saw he was very wise and thoughtful and heartfelt. And he poured as much love into tending that side of his life as he did in developing his understanding of the herbs and how to heal people. And so slowly, it started to open me up, in which he said that his mission, one of his missions, was to help to create at least 1,000 conscious millionaires on the planet who achieved it in a non-toxic way that was good for the earth, good for humanity, good for their health, good for their family. And it's fun in this space today, feeling like, yes, it's time. It's time to not only unlock some of those keys, but apply them together in a group. That's why I'm so excited about the Miracle Experiment experience. Now, whether you join or not, every Sunday for the next month, we're going to be sharing some of these secrets. And then if you join, we have every morning an activation. We have not only the 3 same principles that we've used in other Miracle Experiment experiences, but 2 new ones that I think when you apply them, it's going to activate something crazy in you. Now, combined with that, every morning doing the yoga or breath work and some of the subconscious reprogramming, I am so excited for this. So Tony, keep going. You're about to talk about the 4 fears that people kind of have.
This is good. There's a book called The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks, and he talks about fear number 1 is, if I make more money, I lose touch with my roots. That the people I grew up with, the people that I'm around, are going to reject me on some level. Fear number 2, and check in with yourself if you have. I've never found anyone that doesn't have at least one of these, but some of us have all of these, which is perfectly okay. Number 2 is that in order to make more money, I'm going to have to work twice as hard, right? So someone said, money equals working really hard. I have to suffer, right? Belief system number 3 is somehow I'm fundamentally flawed. I can't make more money because I don't have what it takes. And then fear number 4 of making more money is this idea that if I make more money, I'm going to make really poor choices. I'm going to screw up my life. And then we add into that, I grew up in a household that would say money was the root of all evil. So it was this idea that somehow if I had money, I must not be a good person. I must not be spiritual. So there's these beliefs, and if we peel these apart, if we really look at these, because I'm going to focus the things that I train on around this lizard brain, and the lizard brain is all about survival. It's fight or flight, and the lizard brain decides in a situation in like a third of a second if I should kick or if I should run or if I just freeze all this energy just in case I get one more chance. So you think about if the fear number 1, losing touch with roots. Well, what would that mean to us from a survival standpoint? If our tribe rejects us and we can go back a few hundred years, that meant that we were abandoned in the wilderness. There's a real survival piece. And there's that desire to be loved and to be understood by the people around us. So this idea that if I make more money, suddenly I'm not going to relate to the people around us equals abandonment and rejection. We look at fear number 2.
I just want to see raise the hands. Anyone kind of feel like, oh, maybe that's inside of me? I just want to see, quite a few people are like, yeah, actually, maybe that one's inside of me. For some people, not. But beautiful either way.
Well, this one was a big one for me where I remember one day I went and gave a speech and I made $23,000 in 90 minutes at this speech. And once I learned the rules of money and I did that. And then my brother-in-law was a teacher at the time. He had just gotten hired as a teacher and he made $22,000 a year. And I had this angst in my system of like this discomfort at making the money because I didn't know how to relate to him anymore. So then I started talking about problems I was having in my life so I could feel like we could still relate on the same plane. Right. So I was like focusing on all my struggles, and my conversation started to have to be trying to go, hey, I'm really struggling over here, just so I could keep relatability. Right. So these beliefs are embodied beliefs. They're a reaction in the physical body that happens that aren't logical. Of course, I wanted to make more money, but the non-logical, non-language brain was like, oh, they're gonna judge us and they're not gonna love us anymore. And it was like a feeling, right? So we look at belief number 2, which is to make twice as much money, I have to work twice as hard. And if you tune into your body and you think about working twice as hard as you're working, or 3 times as hard as you're working now, there's this embodied resistance. It's like, oh, I can't do that. When am I going to sleep? When am I going to ever have a life if I work harder and harder and harder just to get money? Right. So there's an embodied response. It's not linear. It's not language based. It's our survival brain going, ouch. Yeah, there's a money tree behind me. Yes. I like to bring reminders of abundance and places around me. And I actually have silver coins that are placed in the money tree. So yes, this real silver. So yes, I do that. Hopefully nobody comes and takes my money tree now. They know it's loaded with silver. But there's a fear of like, oh, someone's going to take it from me if they know, right? So the fear number 3, which is if I somehow I'm fundamentally flawed. So if you think about what does that really mean? It means I'm going to put myself out there. I'm going to take risk and I'm going to fall short and I'm going to experience the number 1 emotion that humans avoid, which is humiliation. And you think about this from a tribal standpoint. If in our standing in our tribe, our status in our tribe, hundreds and hundreds of years ago, we would have been humiliated, then it would have been like this shrinking experience. It would have been a diminishment of us. It would, again, a lizard brain, ouch, I don't want to have that kind of rejection. And then the 4th one, if I make a bunch of money, I'm going to make choices that screw up my life. This one has some factors of, then people are going to see who I really am, and I'm going to be rejected for who I really am. It would be an ouch of like, wow, I'm going to do things that are going to cause pain. They're going to cause rejection. They're going to cause isolation. So these emotional beliefs that we have about money, they're not logical. It's a lizard brain going, no, watch out, be careful. No different than if you walk into the road and you hear a car coming, your lizard brain goes, hey, pay attention. So if we don't address these non-language based fears and learn how to shift into a frequency where we actually feel safe in our body, that the lizard feels safe, then we're going to push money away out of our life.
Wow. Who got some value just from listening to that right now? I just wanted you to raise your hand. It's really powerful, even just thinking, oh, cool. Tony, thank you for breaking down that. And how fun that we'll be able to have a chance now. Combine what Tony knows in the world of studying the game of money with what Dr. Naram knew about how do you do it in a non-toxic way. You know, one of the main principles in chapter 14, as me and Dr. Ram were walking towards the Duomo Cathedral, he says this, Dr. Ram emphatically repeated, the main point is to know what you want, achieve what you want, and then enjoy what you've achieved. I asked, how do I do that? Dr. Ram said, I'd like you to participate in a yagna. A yagna is a ceremony or a process with a specific objective. He said the focus of this one is discovering oneself by asking, who am I? Where am I going? How do I go further, faster, sure, so that I am fulfilled in life? You know, lots of times people chase success. Dr. Ram says, his master says, no, don't chase success, chase fulfillment. You know, actually, you don't chase fulfillment, you chase excellence. You chase great ideas. And as you do so, fulfillment comes. He says, as a first step, I'll ask Dr. Giovanni to show you what foods to eat to nourish your body and your mind to remain healthy, alert, focused, full of energy, so you can achieve your dreams. So in the Miracle Experiment experience, this one, because health is wealth, the second week, we're doing a 7-day Hmong challenge together, you know, for all those that want to opt into that experience. He says, at that point, Simone found a parking spot. Before we got out of the car to walk inside the Duomo Cathedral, Dr. Ram turned to me. Clint, my master told me something I want to tell to you. with an intensity I'll never forget. He said, don't ever chase money. I want you to chase great ideas. And I want you to chase and achieve great dreams. Don't chase success, instead chase and achieve excellence. He told me that if I could discover and follow my heart's desire, the passion would come. Dr. Ram continued, quote, once you're full of passion and you pursue excellence, success will come naturally. Enough money will follow and important things in your life will occur. I asked, like what? The important thing is you'll be happy. You'll be content and you'll eventually discover fulfillment. And so what if we can have both health, all three, health, happiness, and wealth or abundance? And the abundance comes in many different ways. In the 30 days, we're going to break down such simple secrets. But the other thing, Nehemiah, I see that you're here. I know I'm calling you on the spot. I'm so grateful you shared last week and you'll be sharing more. But you suggested an idea that just touched my heart so much, which is that the people at the beginning of the miracle experiment experience make a vow or commitment because we're sharing such priceless secrets. And can you just share about that concept? Let's see if you can unmute yourself here.
Yes. There are few millionaires who are really beautiful, but regretfully, most millionaires are not. I mean, they are inside, but they are not manifesting it in this world, and they use money for power to overpower others. And I was concerned. I was concerned that even though this beautiful group is so beautiful, still, when money hit, it can corrupt people. So I suggested that people will make a commitment to you and to all of us, verbal, that they are going to use it for the betterment and betterment of other people in a positive way. So if somebody is tempted and go off it, maybe some person would. That will be their responsibility of breaking the vow. It won't be your responsibility because you made it very clear to them that this is the condition for learning the secret. So this way, I believe that this group is so beautiful that I want to wish that nobody will allow himself to be corrupted by money, but we make it even stronger. Thank you. Toda rabah. I want to throw something to Vinay, if I may.
Okay, you want me to bring Vinay up here again? Vinay, are you still on? Can you come back on video, Vinay? I don't know if you can or not. Let's see. Oh, here we go.
Vinay,
Right.
I put it in the chat, but I want to say it to you in person. You are a demonstration. I met you, I don't know how many years we're talking back, in Panchakarma. I'm Murari from Nehemiah Murari from Servinos Hussein. I don't know how many years have passed. You stay young. You are walking proof. And the other thing I want to know, and you'll understand, and other people that know Indian tradition will understand it. You follow the line of Hanuman, the perfect servant of God and of Master, so faithfully. You are a blessing and you are blessed. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
So beautiful. Thank you, Nehemiah. And thank you, Vinay. I totally agree with what Nehemiah says. All right. So grateful for you. Today we have a real special treat because just from today's call, you're going to drop into an opening to a possibility for applying one of the secrets of Dr. Naram that's so powerful, and we're going to see it live. But before that, I want us to drop in our hearts by listening to Dr. Naram himself with an audio. So Tony, I'm going to bring you back on in just a moment here. But I just first of all want you to feel your body. Actually, I'm trying to decide if this what I want to do first. Nehemiah spoke so beautifully about his heart, about wanting to make sure that we're guided by the highest and best of ourselves, the highest and best of our souls. And sometimes when money comes, we don't know who we are, you know. Now, I want to say, even if you have extensive resources, you have a lot of wealth or a lot of abundance, still participating in the miracle experiment experience is going to be a priceless experience because of what it will shift inside of you about how much else is possible in that space to have health, happiness, and abundance in a way that benefits you and humanity. How much else is possible? And many of you who are on this call, you're attracted to because you already have an interest in benefiting humanity. One thing in this particular group, this community that's forming, in which also I want to stay true to our hearts, is because we're creating some councils councils that will be making decisions based on certain principles. And the first council is called the Golden Angel Council. Okay. And this is the grandmothers or the grandmotherly quality. And the first council is listening to these wise women. And whenever we have a major decision to make in the community, we'll ask them. And then they can vote on it. We'll have certain principles or certain ways in which they think about the questions and think about the activities, because there's so many activities can come. So we've already invited the first two. and there's many other people who have been nominated, and you can nominate as well, someone that you want to be on the Golden Angel Council. But I just want to just spotlight the two that we've already invited. One is Esther Francis. Yeah. All right. Nominated by quite a few people, and so grateful. I don't know if you can unmute yourself. And I don't know, Ronnie, if you're in a position to come on camera, but I just had such a beautiful conversation with both of these wonderful, powerful women. Oh, Esther.
I am so honored. Oh my gosh. And the United States borrowed a lot of its constitution from Native American wisdom. But one of the things they omitted was that the chiefs had to respond to the council of the wise women.
Wow. I didn't know that, but I love it. I really love it.
It feels like such a restitution of that amazing need for the balance of whatever we call it, yin yang. And I'm just so honored because as you were just sharing, one of them, I just realized and never realized it quite as fully before, that one of the greatest gifts I have received from the book, from Dr. Ram, from you, Dr. Clint, and from this community, is that I am not ashamed anymore of celebrating and fulfillment, and that I do live just about all my life in that state of great joy and happiness, even including the grief. Not letting the grief be something that I put in opposition to that. And that was not always the case. One of the most amazing achievements for me, it happened, and instead of celebrating it, I lamented that another aspect of that experience was what I deemed a failure. And, in retrospect, when I got in this group and I looked back and I heard that, I said, oh my God, that's it. So I am just so thrilled and so thankful and so grateful.
Yeah. One thing Esther said to me when I was talking with her, she says, one of the gifts of being a part of the community and having the book is that, I think you said it this way, that it's the first time in your life you felt comfortable, not thinking you were too much, but being fully expressed.
Yes.
Enthusiastic.
And I have to say, the truth of that is not only the book, I see it in Dr. Naram, and I feel it. I feel him. I feel his oomph, like with his arms. I can feel that energy, and I welcome that energy. I'm very discerning as to what energies I allow in, because it's like radio, right? We have a lot of options, and there's a lot of things we don't want to bring in. But primarily, it was you. It was that experience when you would call on me, and I was like, what? And like, oh my gosh, on the first calls. But then it was, we call it contagious healing, you call it? Contagious enthusiasm, contagious joy, contagious love. And it ignited that fire that was already present. But instead of me clamping it down, as all these years I've tried my best to do unsuccessfully, by your enthusiasm and contagion reached me and said, permission, be who you are, it's okay. It's like, it's an analogous in a way to, yes, if you have all that money, it's not going to make you better than somebody else. That I carried as a belief, before, and not wanting that. So rejecting, being embarrassed that I was born into a family with wealth and doing everything I could to give it away. So.
Before we forget, Cornelia or Andrea, can you put in the chat the link for the Miracle Experiment experience, just for everyone? Today, again, is last day. After today, it goes up 3 times. for whatever reason you need a scholarship, we'll give you the email address as well. Ronnie, I know you're there too and probably can't come on camera, but can you just share your reaction to being on the Golden Angel Council and some of the things you shared with me?
I would love to share my boy. I'm going to get all choked up, choked up in the biggest, best way. There is nothing that I could be more honored and humble to be part of. In any way that I can serve here, that's my highest calling. And to realize that I got an alignment for that is just, wow. It's a little bit overwhelming, but I'm here I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. And so hopefully I'll grow into it in a place where I can be a little bit more calm, because the excitement is just overflowing. It's overflowing with such joy. And my mind and my heart is just going double time, which I love, but I gotta bring it all down to calm again so that I can show up and be who I want to be for everyone here. I couldn't be more pleased, and I'm open for everybody. Anybody that needs anything, I'm here in any way that I can. Serving in this capacity. There's not a higher joy I have, and thank you. I'm in such gratitude.
What I know this is like taboo in the world, but I want you to celebrate also. Can you share what your age is?
What my age is? Sure. Yeah, I'm 75.
75 years young. Okay. It's so beautiful. Ronnie, at 75 years young, she says there's nothing she's been more excited about in her life, nothing that she's been more passionate about or wants to do more than be involved in helping this community and the movement of healing, of health, move forward on the planet in this natural way that's non-toxic. And so I just want to say both Esther and Ronnie, and also the other powerful women that people have been nominated, I just haven't had a chance to connect with yet. Thank you. Thank you for being you. And if you have someone else you want to nominate, send it to staff@ancientsecretsnow.com. But so grateful for you in advance. We honor you. We love you. We recognize you, and we want to support you. We want to listen to you. We want to be guided by love with you. And that's what we want to do in this community, not have anyone on a pedestal, but have love on the pedestal. Let love guide us. So thank you, Esther, and thank you, Ronnie, so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. And then also in the space of this conversation about non-toxic abundance and reprogramming our beliefs, Dr. Ram recorded this track, and we're going to do this just for about 5 minutes, Cornelia, just for about the first 4 or 5 minutes of the track. Then we're going to come back to Janet. We're going to apply one of the secrets, and we're going to see what's possible in this space now. And as you're listening to her story, it's very likely something will change inside of you. That my fixed deadline for this call is to only go 1.5 hours. I'm going to end it exactly at the 1.5 hour mark, because then we'll have a 15-minute break, and then I'm meeting with the mentors, the people who are going to be the mentors for the upcoming Miracle Experiment experience. But I just want to make sure we fully give everything we can in this call so that it has a possibility to change your life forever. Cornelia, you got that track ready? I just invite you to close your eyes for this moment.
Now, I want you to allow yourself to reprogram your wonderful subconscious mind. Believe it or not, my master, who lived up to 125, said, you have all the right to become successful. You have a right to become a winner. You have a right to face your fear and also your ego. And that can only happen when you are coming from your own authenticity and your own being. And my master said that every day morning, if you speak these words in this way, the way I am sharing with you, you become unstoppable. Everything becomes a new dimension. You become a magnetic personality. Success, happiness, joy, relationship, everything will come to you as if you are a magnet. Allow yourself to become that magnet. My wonderful child, you are having powerful, magnetic, dynamic, loving, healing, and happy personality. Your memory is improving. Your energy is improving. Your relationship with your body, mind, and emotions are improving dramatically. You are loving yourself because you are wonderful. You are loving yourself. You are liking yourself. Your self-esteem is becoming better. Your self-image is transforming into a magnetic personality.
Cornelia, you can complete this now.
You are becoming unstoppable.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Narav. It's part of the miracle experiment experience is listening to that track every day. And just from listening to that track alone, for those who've had an experience, many miracles come from that alone. Hard not to be happy or think about possibility when you hear Dr. Narav's voice matched with the music of Gary Malkin in such a beautiful way. Morgine, I see you've raised your hand. I want to give a chance for you to share your question.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I really listened to Dr. Naram, and Dr. Naram says, my master says, if you speak these words out loud. So I say everything he says in the I am loving, I am wealthy. I say the same thing, but I say it out loud myself, because he is not saying that as you listen to those, as I understand it, he said some of those things to his son because his son was asleep. But the fact is, his master told him, if you say these words out loud. So I think it's like 100 times more powerful if I say, I am loving, I love my body, all this time, rather than just listen to Naram say you, because when we put it in the I and we're speaking it out loud, that's what his master said. We're not speaking out loud when we're sitting there listening to it. I just want to make that point.
Margine, thank you so much for that beautiful point. I see Brinda's asking, are you able to put the link for the meditation in the chat? So it's a gift as part of the miracle experiment experience. You'll have access to this, but if you just want to get it on its own, there's a link where you can go to the foundation, and both the miracle experiment experience and when you buy this track, the money goes towards the foundation to help the orphan kids in Nepal. So maybe Andrea for Humanity or Cornelia, you can find that link just where people can purchase it. And not only that one, but another one for going to sleep. There's a combination of both. Luke, please, dear brother, I want to say Bodhidharma. Bodhidharma, yes, Bodhidharma, please.
That was the name given to me by my spiritual teacher many years ago. Anyway, I was fortunate to grow up in an environment with parents that did not discourage me about money. When I was training to be an artist, and I told him, when I'm in my 20s, I'm going to be making such and such. You know, I'm in my 30s, I'm going to be making such and such. And they didn't discourage that at all. But the biggest thing in my life was I was fortunate to be with two enlightened teachers starting in the early 80s. My first teacher was Rama. I met him in 82 in San Francisco. And he was a tantric Buddhist master. And one of the biggest things he taught us was, look, we're not in India. If we were in India, I'd have you focus in the cave 12 hours a day, but we're here. And he taught us how to make money and how to be abundant, including many hours a day of meditation. So we had all the spiritual practices, but part of the tantric practices were living in the world and utilizing everything in the world, because he would say money is energy. And he taught us. I went back to school and got from being an artist, I went back to school and got an associate's degree in computer science, became a programmer, made 6 figures a year for many years. He taught us how to do that. And then I was with another spiritual teacher for many years named Ramtha, and he also taught us you can be abundant and create anything you want. And he would have us draw images like this one here, which I made many years ago, of just seeing, seeing me and dollars and gold following me and making images like this and surrounding myself with it. And as a result of that, in my mid-50s, I had an online business for a number of years, and I sold that, became a millionaire in my mid-50s from all these practices. But here's the interesting thing, and Dr. Clint, you heard this part of it before. Now I was a millionaire, and I said, it was like surreal. From one day to the next, I'm a millionaire, my wife and I. What do we do? So not knowing how to be a millionaire is really tricky. You think you want to be one, but when you are one, it's like, what do I do? So I suddenly had fear. So I found that, the expression money doesn't buy happiness. Well, I found that to be true. It didn't make my relationship with my wife any better. It didn't make life any better. It doesn't make your health any better. And I had fear of loss now. And it took a number of years, and that money dwindled until 10 years later, I was having financial problems. So it's not only wanting abundance and creating abundance, but once you have it, knowing what to do with it and being happy with it and not being fearful about it. So that's been an interesting journey for me with abundance. But I've always been taught to envision it and see what I want and not be afraid of it and know that I deserve to be abundant. So that's been my teachings with abundance.
Oh, so thank you. Thank you. It's so powerful. Thank you for sharing not only the journey, first of all, to have spiritual teachers that would ingrain in you that there's not a conflict between spirituality and abundance. That's fantastic. And then just your honesty about achieving it, but then not, Dr. Ram would call it digesting. Do you know how to digest wealth? Do you know how to digest success? So that way it doesn't come and go, but also doesn't poison you, and when it can come in a way that's non-toxic, how you have a vision for what you're going to do when it's there. And so beautiful. We're going to cover we'll do the orientation call next Sunday, the 25th. But when we officially start on the 26th, it's a special 2-hour call where we'll outline some of the principles that we'll be applying every month that will shift us into a space that we can digest, that we know, and also that we have a vision of what we do here, how we appreciate it now. We're grateful as if it's happened. So that way, as it comes, in whichever way it comes, that we're able to digest it. And Luke, thank you so much for sharing that. And Bodhidharma, thank you so much for sharing that powerful experience.
Clint, can I make a comment on that?
Absolutely. Please, Tony.
So I grew up in a house, and thank you for those shares. It really inspiring. I grew up in a house where we didn't have money, and there was a lot of beliefs about money being bad. But I wanted to have money. So I chased money in my 20s, and I learned a whole bunch of skills. And eventually, I made my first $1 million at 31. But I was like trashing my health, and my relationship was completely on the rocks. And I was overworked like crazy. And it was like this massive imbalance. But my mentors were all buying fancy cars and houses and showing it off. And I got onto that track. And it was a really interesting experience where then I felt so unworthy to have the money that I pushed it out of my life. I went back to poverty. And I have 5 kids. And so it's hard to be in poverty with 5 kids. And I wanted my story to be like this quick rebound that I just figured it out and I, made some more money again, but it took me a decade. And I deconstructed what worked and what didn't work, what were the inner beliefs and the outer beliefs. And this process that I'm going to be teaching, I'm really excited to share, is not just about reaching some ultimate goal of being a millionaire, which is fine if that's the goal, but it's really about how do you evolve? How do you create enough money to live the next layer of your purpose in a way that it feels good and that the money becomes an expression of you and your purpose. And so, my ultimate goal is no longer, some number. It's enough money so that I can spend a lot of my day and a lot of my energy moving things forward that I'm passionate about. And in the deconstruction of this, of going from poverty to riches to poverty to then, I spend about 10 hours a week working on my business and making money. And then the rest of the time is either spending with, relationships or with things that I'm passionate about, moving things forward. And so there's a balance here that money allows an expression of self. And when our worth is no longer tied to how much money we have, and when our nervous system actually becomes safe to have enough, then we get to spend a whole bunch of our energy bumping up against our purpose, which is its own challenge. It's a stretch. For me, at least, it's enormously challenging on a day-to-day basis to lean into the discomfort of the next level of my purpose, but it's exhilarating also. So the balance of this is, like, being rich didn't make me happy, and being poor didn't make me happy. What brought, I'm not always happy either, but what has brought more happiness and fulfillment in my life is this balance of tuning into my capacity as a creator and intentionally creating the money to intentionally create the life experience that I want to have. That's, I think, what it's about. It's not just like getting rich and then we're going to suddenly be happy. I helped a whole bunch of people become millionaires when I was teaching seminars, 15 years ago, but it didn't help them become happy.
Yeah.
So
I love that.
What we're teaching here is this balance of, can we become more of our express self and bump up against our own beliefs? I'm still bumping up against my beliefs. I'm still stretching against my upper limits with money. I'm still bumping up against my relationship, the different elements of relating with another human being. I'm still bumping up against my fears of me and of expressing and all the things. But that's what we're doing together in this miracle experiment. We celebrate Dr. Naram, we celebrate you, Clinton, and these other people. You've said some kind things about me, but this is really about each of you. And what's the next level of you bumping up against you, and then actually having the tools and the technology to bump up to that next level, because it can be done. I went from cleaning a bar when I first started doing this. I'd clean up broken bottles and poopy toilets, to being able to spend a lot of energy in things that feel deeply important to my soul. That's what we're getting to. And so, for each of us, this is about your next level could be next level of money, but it also could just be next level of courage, next level of your expression of your truth, of what your soul wants to express. So I love these people coming in and sharing these different pieces of it, because this is not just about, hey, we're going to teach you how to make more money and then you're going to ultimately be happy. No, this is about expression, the expansion of you. Yeah,
I love that. Oh, thank you so much. And in the words of Dr. Ram, getting clear on what do you want? What do you want? Instead of focusing on what don't you want, and in that clarity of what do you want, also, more important than ever in this conversation is allowing this to be true. I didn't come to teach you. I came to love you, and love will teach you. So in the space of this conversation of reprogramming our beliefs about something that has been sometimes in the background and influencing everything, so much healing is possible. So I really invite you to continue on this call to drop into what love is teaching you on this call, letting love guide you. And when love guides you, what is possible? What Dr. Ram, he says, one of the big problems people have is they don't like to think big. That was one of the things he said. They don't like to think big. Well, when you think big, like his mission to touch every heart and every home on earth with the power of these ancient secrets, you're going to push against different beliefs on every level of capacity. Like, I didn't know that the book could be translated in so many languages so quick. I'm so happy I have it with me in Spanish. I travel tomorrow to Mexico for a real beautiful presentation and brainstorming meeting with some powerful individuals in Tulum. It's so fun to hold it in Spanish. I think more people are going to read it in Spanish or listen to the audiobook in Spanish than English, but it's pushed against my beliefs to have it in so many ways, but I'm loving it. And so for every one of us in this community, what if we can let love guide us in a new way, even in this tender space? Peggy, I see you have your hand up, and I want to go to you, and then we're going to do this activity with Janet. Go ahead, Peggy. So glad that you're here.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. So I just like to make things simple in life if best we can. And I think we're all frequencies. And I think what we're talking about is changing our frequencies. And so when you are at a certain frequencies, things happen, things don't happen. When you are at a love frequency or whatever you want to call it, then things happen. Because we're all connected, and we're so connected to the planet in the frequencies that we get from the planet or we give to the planet. And one of the amazing things that just happened to me this morning is I've been really dealing with this cough that's been like strangling me for the past week. And I felt I had some infection in my lungs. It was through my gums or something. And I've been doing, ivermectin. I've been doing this, and this. And this morning I remember to do the Marmor point. And so we may not always know what is going on with us. And so I had a back pain and it was spasm. And I said, let go of anything that is preventing me from living in gratitude. And instantly the back pain went away. So this morning I said, okay, I'm going to let go of anything that is making me cough. And I haven't coughed since. I am seriously suffering this week and through the night and everything. So I just, everybody remember to use this, let go, whatever it is, it doesn't have to be a specific thing, because that's where your ego is. Your mind is in control if you say just one thing. It could be something you have no clue about, and just say, I let go of anything that is blocking me from living in gratitude or making me cough or whatever it is, or making me not have abundance. I let go.
Let's do that right now. Is that everyone want to join this experiment with us? So it's basically on your left hand. So I think it's a mirror image, but hopefully you know which one's your right and your left hand. If you don't, you can just go like this, and the one that has an L is your left hand. Okay, when you look at it, it looks like an L. So on your left hand, then you have the fleshy part between here, your thumb and your finger, and you press it down until it hurts. You find, oh, actually, wow, there's a real tender spot right there. And where it hurts, then you close your eyes, and over your left eye, you see red frame. And if there's any picture or image of something you need to let go of, a person maybe that you feel hurt you, or some situation or some belief, but in this particular case, we'll follow what Peggy says. We'll say, I want to let go of anything that's keeping me from abundance. I want to let go. I want to forgive and forget and let go of that. And then you press that point that hurts 6 times. So you can just speak out loud with me. I want to let go of anything keeping me from abundance.
I say let go of anything that's blocking me.
Oh, beautiful. Let's do this way too. Okay, I want to let go of anything blocking me from abundance on every level. And then press 6 times. And say, I forgive and I forget. Wow, beautiful. Thank you, Peggy. Thank you for demonstrating so powerfully the ancient secrets, the Marma secrets, that can help us program from conscious, subconscious, superconscious, so you have a very different reality. Cough is gone, back pain's gone. So now we see together in this powerful group what's happened with abundance, and it's perfect timing, because right now I'm going to pull up Janet. Thank you so much, Peggy. Janet, if you're still there. We are going to look at removing a block. So are you okay to get a little vulnerable?
Of course.
Can you share the situation that you're at right now?
Yes. My health situation?
Yeah, whatever is the health combined with the beliefs about money and what was happening.
Well, my health situation is that just in the last few months, couple of months, I've been diagnosed with basal cell carcinoma on my face, which is scary enough for me. But now I'm dealing with a very resistant UTI, and it's downright frightening because I've been dealing with recurrent UTIs for a while, and there's a lot of things in the internet, of course, that will, just when you read and research, it really makes you fearful. And so I need support. So if anybody is dealing with resistant UTIs, I would like them to reach out to me. So maybe we can brainstorm together and get some healing going.
Thank you for asking for help. Is it okay if right now, live on this call, everyone listening can support you? Are you open to this possibility?
Of course, of course.
Okay, beautiful. So thank you, everyone. This is a very interactive exercise. It's not just Tony, me, and Janet. You're involved very much. Oh yeah, I love Bodhidharma is already going like this. We'll do that in a second, but I want to get more of the story first. Okay. So found out about the carcinoma. You're struggling, you have this challenge of the UTI. You're having these fears arise.
Yeah.
And then you had a meeting with the Ayush Shakti Vaidya.
Yes.
And they recommended certain herbs.
Yes.
And also certain diet, home remedies, different things.
Yes.
And then what happened when you got the list of the herbs? What was happening inside?
Well, I am struggling with my budget, and it was just too much for my budget at this point. And
can you share the dollar amount for 3 months of herbs? Do you remember how much it was, just so that people get an idea?
Well, the Dr. Priyanka suggested that I get, I think, 3 months of herbs. I can't remember if it was 3 or 5, but the total was $244. And that was just,
you couldn't imagine spending that much money. And so then you were forced to ask, what about home remedies? What about other things?
Yes.
Because in your mind, you said, I can't afford that.
Yes.
And so you went quickly to
and I haven't, I'm sorry, you were breaking up and I don't know if it was me.
Go ahead, you go, please.
Okay. So yes, it was just, it was out of my reach at this point. And with the herbs that I'm already taking, it's very impossible for me to grasp that at this point. So, and because Tony was telling me, was when he was speaking about his family, started thinking about how when I grew up, I grew up in a very financially conservative family, and they always wanted to keep, my dad was, I remember my uncle telling my dad that he was a penny pincher. And I remember such a negative feeling around that I never wanted to be that person. I want to give. If anybody knows me, I want to give what I've got. And it was very difficult to imagine myself like my family. So I kind of almost veered off the other way. I mean, I had a life-changing injury that caused me to have 6 hip surgeries and very many other things, and was in rehab for a long time. And so there's a lot of things that go into that. But the fact is that I'm not where my family is. And in some ways, I'm very thankful for that. But in other ways, I know that if I had more abundance, that I would be able to fulfill my purpose, which is to help others. And like Dr. Clint, you know that when we met in person.
Janet is someone who said to me, I want to help in any way possible. And so I said, can you be in charge of the translation of all the books? And she's never done anything like that. In fact, didn't know how to use Google spreadsheet, barely could use the email, but she took it on and did it with so much love, never complaining, always learning, always serving in such a beautiful way. It inspired me. So Janet, in this moment, it is okay. In addition to helping with the healing of the UTI, healing of the carcinoma, is okay if we help heal your belief with money in one simple way. It's a process. So first of all, joining the Miracle Experiment experience is a must, according to me. But one of the secrets, in fact, it was funny, I started opening up the Spanish book. I'm like, I don't recognize it. I found in English, two quotes. One is Dr. Ram says, everything can either be a medicine or poison, depending on how you use it. So what if money is also a medicine or poison, depending on how we use it? Now, in this particular case, certain beliefs are limiting you from healing. So those beliefs about money are probably not medicine for you. It's, so we want to help change that. The other thing that Dr. the quote he says is the quality of your life depends on the quality of your questions. This is a secret for all of us. So when we bump up against something, in fact, Robert Kiyosaki in Rich Dad Poor Dad says, if we say, I can't afford it, your brain shuts down. But if you start to ask, how can I afford it? All of a sudden your brain has to find a solution because it's just a machine. We just enter the questions and it pops out the answers. Okay. So in this circumstance, as a community, as a very powerful, beautiful community, the Ancient Secrets community, is it okay if we ask that powerful question, Janet, and you ask it? So together and with Tony, actually, I'll first of all ask Tony, this question of how can I afford it? When you are asking this question, and Tony, feel free to chime in at any time you want to, but Janet, what comes into your mind when you start asking that question? How can I afford it?
I start to be fearful of being able to manifest. I don't know. I don't know if it's a block because of the way I was brought up, and seeing that because my family not only was conservative, but a lot of them were judgmental. And I'm very open and wanting to accept people from where they are. And so I don't exactly know.
Okay. So can you ask this question out loud with me?
Yes.
How can I afford it?
How can I afford this?
How can I afford this? Yeah. How can I afford everything I need for my health, happiness? How can I afford everything that I need for my health and happiness?
How can I afford it?
Say it.
Yeah. How can I afford everything I need for my health and happiness?
Say it.
Leonora is giving you some props.
I can afford it.
Yeah. How can I afford it is a question. And when you ask yourself that question, and all of us have questions regarding money. Sometimes people, you see someone with money and you have a question, just pay attention, everybody, to the questions you're asking yourself or the things you're telling yourself. But replace it with something that can bring you what do you want. And so let's brainstorm together. Tony, first of all, Tony, anything you want to add before I open it up to the community?
Yeah, I want everyone just to check in. And Janet, thank you for a vulnerable share. There's an embodied frequency that we experience around money. And so when we have that sense of the constriction, right, we have that like, I don't know, how am I going to do this? And we're asking the question in that way, our body tenses up and we go into a place where the lizard brain feels unsafe. And we're in that moment vibrating at a frequency of lack. And we can shift our frequency. And the thing is like, we're imagining these things up. That's the power of the thinker brain. It's also what gets us stuck is we're imagining some scenario that hasn't happened and our body reacts as if it's happening, right? So it was, Jen, I don't know if you were watching the chat thread, but there's several people that have now sponsored you with the herbs. So you actually have manifested the actual real truth is the manifestation of this, right? So I want you to feel what's happening in your body now. All of a sudden there's a relief, right? This is a frequency. It's an abundant frequency of going, oh, I'm okay. I'm okay. That's a frequency, but feel in your body what's happening is we can change our frequencies by focusing in different places and changing these different ideas, right? And this is the power of the embodied belief. It's not language, but the frequency of money is a feeling of relief and going, oh, I'm good. I'm okay. I'm good, right? So you just went from a place of constriction to all of a sudden going, ah, and it is the change in frequency. And so Clint, I want to let you do your process as well, but I just wanted to point this piece out is in order for us to change how we're experiencing money in the world or how we're experiencing health in the world or how we're experiencing love in the world, we have to first change our frequency from the place of constriction into tuning into different radio stations in our body of going, oh, okay, this moment is actually safe.
Yes.
This actual moment right now, like this right here, this is all we have. This is the real moment. Like, this is it. This moment, there's enough water in us. There's enough air. We have electricity to be on a video game called Zoom, right? This actual moment, no one's attacking us, or we wouldn't be on the Zoom channel. We'd be fighting, right? So this moment's actually safe. And if we can tune into the frequency of this moment being safe and going, oh, okay. We're changing radio stations, which is an essential part. It's what we'll be doing over the 30 days. That's why with the repetition of the 30 days is we're going to tune into a different radio station with different teachers each day, tune into a different frequency of going, oh, I'm okay. Yeah. So anyway, that's all I want to say to that.
And adding on to that, one of the most powerful ways to change your frequency is going into a state of gratitude. That's why the miracle experiment experience focuses so much on gratitude. Even when you ask yourself, what do you want? One of the most powerful ways is to say it as if it's already happened in the form of a gratitude statement. And that changes your frequency instantly. It's not rocket science why people experience miracles when all of a sudden they start being more grateful, because your frequency changes. And so in this moment, Janet, what's a gratitude statement that you could say?
I am grateful for this community, for being able to afford these herbs.
Yeah.
I am so grateful for all of you.
Also,
You have
I
done
want
everything for me in the last couple of years. I'm just so grateful for you, Dr. Clint, and for this whole
beautiful.
community.
And I'm so thankful for that statement. And I want you to turn it also back to yourself and maybe just see how this feels. But I'm so grateful that I can attract all of the abundance I need for my health and my happiness. I'm so grateful that I can attract all the abundance I need for my health and happiness. Can you say that and see how that feels?
I am so grateful that I can attract all the abundance I need to attract for my health and happiness.
Yeah, and then try this one. I'm so grateful that I can create all the abundance I need for my health, my safety, my happiness.
I'm so grateful that I can create all of the abundance that I need for my health and happiness.
Yeah, and I also put safety in there, but yes, let's put our hands together. Yes. We're sending you so much love, Janet. We love you. We're with you. I'm excited to follow your journey. So beautiful.
Thank you so much.
I would go into more detail with everyone. We brainstorm this question. We come up with hundreds of ideas where you could create $300. And we'll park that for now. We'll have special bonus sessions as part of the Miracle Experiment experience on Saturdays, where we'll do some of the challenge activities Dr. Ram gave me, and we'll do it together. And one is coming up with as many ideas as possible to answer some questions, to exercise our heart brain and our thinker brain. But right now, I prefer to go in the community, where we go into a breakout room, and I really want to anchor in, what did love teach you today on today's call? We're going to go into a breakout room, and just in the 5 minutes, you're going to have a chance to share with other people in the room, what did love teach you on today's call? And you'll see right now there's rooms open, and then we'll come back for the last 2 minutes of the call. But 5 minutes, and then we'll come back for the last 2 minutes of the call. Just go in, what did love teach you on today's call? What did love teach you on today's call? Make sure everyone gets a chance to share. Bodhidharma, I don't know if you're still here. Let's just see while you're here. Anything you can just share about what love taught you on today's call?
Oh, I'm bursting with love right now. I'm just absolutely bursting. And what's been talked about, what Tony's talked about, Janet reaching out has just been so amazing. And I want to help her. I texted in there, I want to help you. I can help her financially. I can create a GoFundMe account for her. And the love that we all share here is just extraordinary. And I am truly bursting with love and appreciation right now. I really am. So that's pretty much what I have to say.
That's so beautiful. Thank you so much. I want to hear Cornelia. What did love teach you on today's call?
Love told me, or just taught me, that it's actually limitless. And also that love is also being vulnerable and allowing ourselves to receive.
That's a big thing, huh?
It's one of the biggest thing to actually show ourselves. I mean, that's normally what in closer relationship happens when really there's this love that we feel safe enough to be vulnerable, but in this community that we are actually able to be vulnerable and show who we really are and what we need in the moment and ask for help. That's probably one of the biggest lessons for me, what love is.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Cornelia. Rachel San Ma. What did love teach you?
Hi, dears. Hi, everyone. This call was the best one I've been on so far. It just really touched me in so many ways. Thank you. And you know, I'm still houseless and homeless. I'm living on the mountain. I've lived in Mount Shasta for 21 years. I'm actually in my car, and I slept in my car last night because it was raining. And so, you know, there's so much that came up in the call, everybody, all the fears, the blocks. And I've always been one like, you know, how can I come up with this money? Show me all the ways, show me the possibilities, because it's butting up against that fear I hear in the head of, I don't have, oh my gosh, now winter's coming, fall's coming, and I don't have the money to even help my car. And so this is rare. I've always been able to take care of myself and attract abundance. And I know that I've always been told, and I know this, that I have a wealth of wisdom. I've helped many people. I've been doing sessions and leading meditations and healing groups for about 35 years now, 40 years. And so whenever I become too hermit-like and reclusive, if I don't share, abundance just comes to a screeching halt. So I'm like in this, okay, I'm willing to share, I'm willing to give more, and, you know, get on Zoom calls more and do more. And but just so much, the vulnerability, and it's taken a lot of lessons for me and reflection of staying out of fear, and then going, okay, show me all the possibilities and show me what I can do. What can I do to bring in the money I need for my car repair, bring in this, start renting a house again. And so when I do that, I'm just filled with bliss. I'm filled with joy. I'm filled with gratitude, and things come. But I still notice I have, there's some blocks and a lot of past life issues I see when I used to do advanced numerology, not astrology readings, Vedically, Western and all, and seeing how people were taken care of in many lifetimes by patrons and sponsors and family members. And so getting out in the world is just, there's no reference for them to take care of themselves out in the world financially. So there's so much richness to this, but I'm ready to just blow off the top and to
thank
be
you.
of service and all of that. So I know that was a long share, but
thank you for bringing in the energy of Mount Shasta and sharing so vulnerable yourself so beautifully. All right, I see TP Paz. I don't know, but I'd love for you to share. Would tell me your first name?
It's TP.
TP?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, beautiful.
Yes.
Thank you. Where are you joining us from?
I am right now in Hugo, Oklahoma, taking care of my dad, who's 92.
Wow. What did love teach you on today's call? I just want to know that part of it.
To remember to show up, and I'm so full. Thank you so much. I was going to sing you a song, but I don't think I can. I'm so full of love. I'm so grateful for everyone in this group, and I really feel like I found a tribe I've been seeking for a long time.
That's so beautiful. How did you
and
find
I'm doing the miracle experiment. I'm doing it. I'm signed up for it. I'm so excited.
Good.
Yeah.
TP, how did you discover us, or how did you find out about it?
I just synchronistically came across the book and just immediately totally connected on every level with this work. It's I'm 69 and I have been a practicing healing arts therapist for over 40 years. And I just sort of feel like this cork bobbing on the ocean a lot of the time, especially right now that I'm living in a super tiny conservative community. And so it's really nice to be able to connect with people that are, just on a really great frequency.
I did not answer the question because we ran out of time. And
you guys ran out of time, Linda. I'm so sorry about that. We're on a little, because I promised everyone we'd stop in an hour.
I'm not that important.
No,
Really,
you are.
I'm not. The world will be.
No, you're very important, Linda. I want you to tell all of us, what did love
I
teach
am
you?
not that important. I'm sorry about my ego stepping in and crashing the party.
No, Linda, you're very important. What did love teach you on today's call?
I am a wonderful, imperfect human being, and I'm having a lot of feelings about. I see myself as unemployable and undateable, and I know that's egocentric thinking. And of course, the miracle says that the ego speaks first and loudest.
Linda, is it
And
okay
it
if we
takes a
all
lot
send
of
you?
self-love. I'm sorry.
Is it okay if we all send you a lot of love right now? Would you be open to receive that?
Very.
All right, let's put our hands
I'll
together.
probably cry, but go ahead.
We love you. We're with you, Linda. Thank you so much for being here, letting love teach you, and being open to explore what is ego doing. It's so beautiful. And you're very, very important, Linda. Romarishi, I see that you had your hands, and then I'll finish with a couple announcements. What did love teach you today, Romarishi?
Well, love taught me that it's time that I overcome all my obstacles and all my subconscious, all my subconscious resistance to having money. I've been a spiritual teacher for 50 years. Thousands of people around the world admire me and ask me to bless them. And I'm sitting in a tent right now with my wife. And it's raining. And I haven't been able to move into my trailer yet. We're still in our tent. And I know without a doubt that I have resistance to money. I grew up with literally the wealthiest people in the whole world, the 1% of the 1%. And I saw that they were not happy. And that made me resist having money. So I've given my whole life doing seva to serve people. But I always believed that I should not make money from it. And so here I am, 74 years old, sleeping in a tent with very little money.
Well, thank you for your.
I'm so grateful.
I'm so
grateful.
I can't believe the divine timing of everything, Romarishi. You're my brother on every level. And how cool that right now, in the midst of this time, it's a possibility of this miracle experiment experience. Thank you for being vulnerable and for everyone. If Romarishi is ready, we should all be ready.
And one thing is that it actually looks on my screen like I'm in my temple, but that's a virtual background. I'm really in my tent.
We were thinking, what a nice tent. We were thinking, wow, that's an amazing tent.
Yeah. No, Tara and I are sitting here in our tent with our dog, and it's pouring rain.
Oh, that's funny. It looks like
we're happy. But we're happy, and we're so happy that we read the book, that we know you, and we've received so much from you and the community. And now's the time to completely eradicate subconscious resistance to money.
Yeah, I love that. Michelle says, I was trying to come to you in your amazing tent. Maybe in the rain it was a little difficult. Let's just put our hands together for Romarishi and Tara. Oh, we love you. We're with you. We're so with you. Thank you so much. I know there's a couple other people that want to share, and then I want to complete with something. I've seen because I haven't heard you speak in way too long, and I see your hand is raised. I would love to hear. What did love teach you on today's call?
Thank you so much. Thank you. It's lovely seeing you again, Dr. Clint, although I saw you yesterday. Also, sorry about my video being off. I have oils on my hair. I just want to say how grateful that I am for these calls. You know, today when Janet was talking, I was crying because I'm just so grateful that we have this community where we can come together and help each other and have an open heart. Actually, I want to rephrase that. Thank you, Dr. Clint, for opening at least my heart so much and putting so much love in it that I can so happily offer help to anyone in any capacity that I can, and even more, because I think there is no, limit to wanting to give love. And the more that I give love, the more that I receive. I'm just so very, very grateful. What love taught me today is just continue loving and sharing my passion for ancient secrets that you have taught us, that Dr. Naram has taught us, and doing my course to the best of my ability. I'm now working 7 days a week, so I can afford to go on that trip to India, which nothing is
see
going
you
to
in
stop.
India.
This time is not going to be, hopefully, no COVID restrictions or anything. I am just so grateful that you made it possible for me to do the one thing that I wanted the most, to learn the ancient secrets and to pass them.
And one reason why I'm so excited about this upcoming Miracle Experiment experience is especially for all those in the path practitioner training, because learning what herbs do what is only one part of the Siddha Veda secrets, but also how do you create it in such a way that you have a never-ending stream of clients so you can do your passion, so that people get better, so the world becomes a better place. And I'm saying, I just, as you're speaking, I'm thinking as on behalf of this Ancient Secrets community, if we have Afsana on our team, yes, such good news. We want Afsana on our team.
We are all your children, and I can see it's like we are little hearts, and together we make a huge heart that is beating and is attracting all the other hearts. And I just want to tell Janet, I love you so much. Do not worry about your herbs again. I talked to her. It was a miracle. It was a miracle that she and I were in the same room, breakout room. So
I'm so happy about that. Thank you, Afsana. We love you. We're with you. Looking forward to connecting more with you. I'm so glad when I came to London, you bestowed me with so many kisses. I'm actually doing a tour of USA soon. We just announced LA. I'll be in October 11th. I'll be in LA. We have that link. October 21st, I'll be in Sacramento. I'll be going to Wisconsin. I'll be going to North Dakota, Michigan. So look at in your email for those links. If we could post one more time, the link for the Miracle Experiment experience. And then Nehemiah, I know you have some real powerful thing to share. Would it be okay if we start off next Sunday's call with your insight about what love taught you? Does that feel good? Okay, beautiful.
Perfecto.
Perfecto. So now what I'm going to do is just invite everyone to unmute yourself, put your hands together, rub it, feel the heat. And to everyone who had the courage and the belief and the guidance by love to show up in this space, just want you to open up your hands and your heart, say, I love you and I'm with you. I love you and I'm with you.
I love you and I am with you.
Beautiful. I love this community. I love you and I'm with you. Let's see here. There's even a way I think I can invite everyone to unmute themselves. I don't know what I did this time. Oh, there we go. Sorry, I didn't.
Yeah.
There we
Yeah,
go.
there you
I'm with you. I'm with you.
I'm with you.
I'm with you, Janet. Love you, Janet. Love you, Dr.
Love you and I'm with you.
I'm
With
with
you.
Love you and I'm with you.
Love you,
I love you, Marcia.
Love you.
love you,
Raven, love you, Lenora, love you.
Love you,
Love you,
Esther.
You're so beautiful.
And I am with
Linda,
you.
love you, Margie, love you,
Love
Maya.
you. Andrea.
Andrea, I love you.
I am with you.
Love you.
Andrea, I love you.
All right, I love you and I'm with you. Thank you for joining today. Looking forward to next Sunday. We'll have a really special opening introductory call for the Miracle Experiment Experience, which will officially start on the 26th. Today is the last day of the discount. Make sure you do that. If you're interested in the Pulse Clinic tour, make sure that you sign up for that or contact Monica. Otherwise, what can happen together as a community when we heal on all the different levels? What if even one thing, one secret lands inside your heart in such a way that you believe that you're worthy of abundance, that you're worthy of knowing what you want, achieving what you want, and enjoying what you achieve? I think this world becomes a better place. I already know that we won this game because if even one person benefits, it's worth the whole thing. And on top of that, when a whole community does this together, there's a sacred dance that happens. There's an energy. And when people hold this intention, so thank you for being here. I love you. I love you and I'm with you. Namaskar. And for those that are joining the Miracle Experiment Experience mentor training, we'll be back here in 5 minutes. I'm just going to end this call so you'll just log back in. I love you and I'm with you.